Alright,
Yeah.
recording has started.
All right. I'd like to open the February 11th, 2025 Bethel Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We'll start with introductions. Start at the end of the table.
Kenny Carson, Commissioner.
Eric Burley's alternate. Jeff DeRosa, alternate.
Mike Kozlowski, Commissioner.
Paul Shanley, Chairman.
Kitty Grant, Secretary.
Diane Ryan, Commissioner.
Squirrel Brady, Commissioner.
And online, we have,
Commissioner.
and staff joining us this evening.
Amanda Martinez, recording secretary.
Dave McCollum, Land Use Coordinator.
I believe Beth is on home suffering with the flu, so I don't have to be saying too much. We will start the meeting. I have to make a motion to add a couple of things to the agenda. It came in late. I'll make a motion to add to our business meeting an invoice for the News Times for $694.50 for public noticing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That motion passes. Another one under new business. I'm adding 42 Nashville Road site plan amendment for an 830G application. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes. I'm going to open up the public hearing for Raphael Marin, accessory structure pool house at 27 Point Road.
Appear January 31st, 2025 and February 7th, 2025, public hearings. The Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing on February 11th, 2025 in Meeting Room D of the Municipal Center, 1 School Street, Bethel, Connecticut at 7 p.m. to hear the following. Raphael Marin for property located at 27 Hoyt Road for special permit consisting of an accessory structure pool house in the front yard. The property can be found in the assessor's records as map 62, block 73, and lot 10-01. A link to review the materials can be found on the town's website. The public may send comments via regular email and email to landuse@bethelcp.gov. Parking for the hearing is located to the rear of the building, Paul Shanley.
Thank you. Something for us?
I do have a staff report, Mr. Chairman, if I may, have the opportunity,
Sure.
to distribute that to you all. And, Kitty, I don't have a version of this electronic, so it may, make sense for you to read that in if you don't mind.
No problem. Planning and Zoning Commission, David McConnell, Land Use Coordinator, staff report, 27 Hoyt Road special permit application, February 11, 2025. The Planning and Zoning Commission. I offer the following review of comments regarding the subject application. Number 1, this lot has frontage or a street lot line along Hoyt Road and Plum Trees Road. These roads run roughly parallel to each other in an east-west direction. Because this lot has 2 separate street lot lines and abuts 2 generally parallel streets, it is considered a through lot. Through lots have front and side yards, but not rear yards. Number 2, statute 3.4.C.1.B of the Bethel zoning regulations states no accessory structure can be located in a front yard, parenthesis, an area between the principal structure and the street without approval from the commission. Number 3, the commission should note the size of the proposed accessory structure barbecue area, which is calculated to be 660 square feet. Per the regulations, the square footage of the accessory structures such as sheds shall not exceed 400 square feet without a special permit from the commission. The commission should note, number 4, the commission should also note The proposed barbecue area includes a half bathroom. Number 5, while no exterior elevations of the structure have been submitted, the interior floor plan appears to indicate the structure will have exterior sliding doors on the side closest to the proposed stone or paver patio. Number 6, per the regulations, the height of the barbecue area structure cannot exceed 16 feet, which is measured from the base of the average grade to the midline of the roof, the vertical midpoint between the peak and the eave. Number 7, the commission should consider whether or not the accessory barbecue would be climate controlled. If so, staff recommends the commission include a condition for property owner to submit an affidavit indicating that the accessory barbecue is not being used as an accessory apartment. This affidavit should be renewed annually from the date of the zoning compliance certificate. Thank you.
Excellent. We have the applicant.
Yes. I used to do this. My name is Rafael Mary. I live at 27 White Road. So I lived there for 17 years. I'm a local. I own a construction business, mainly siding and roofing, but I also build apartments and houses throughout the state. On that matter, I'm planning on stay around for a long time and stay at this residence, and I want to improve my backyard. So what I'm proposing is, can I?
Yep.
Yes, it's for you. So that's the site plan, should be dialed down right there.
You can use that one to show that the front houses, it's not, the face of the front house is not for the back.
Yes.
Which one?
So if you go, it should be the Raphael and Patricia Hawk model.
Yeah. All right, so that's what I propose. There is pictures of the driveway and stuff. Basically, the investment that I'm doing on that area has to be 600 square feet to make sense. I'm planning on have this whole thing glass doors, so I can open completely on the summer. All it is half bath, a little pantry here, and a grill right there. You can see that from the neighbors, and considering the size of the house, the size of the property, that's why I'm proposing a 600 square feet barbecue patio up there. I don't know if you have any other questions. I have pictures of my property if you guys want to see.
Sure.
Where would this be? Application?
Yeah, there it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So the White Road is up there. And you can see the house from the street. The red dot is where the barbecue area will be, which it's down low compared to the neighbors in front.
Mhm.
They can see it, plus the trees that are there.
Sure.
Down below, the other street down below, if you go down that way, you gotta go around to come back. It's steep, so it's really far too. So that's the view from coming down the driveway, looking at the house. They'll be behind the house back there. That's pretty much the same view. That's coming down the driveway. And that's from the driveway looking up to the road. You can see a little bit of the house there, the neighbor's house. Well, from back here, you can see the hill starts going up that way. It's even more steep. when it gets to the back of the house.
That's the only pictures.
All right, I'll open it up to, is there any public questions or comments concerning this application? Seeing none, is there anyone online?
I'm not seeing any hands raised at the moment, Mr. Chairman.
All right, start then on the table. Commission?
No, looks like a fine addition. I don't have an issue.
On the agenda, it's described as a pool house, but there's no pool there, correct?
No, there is no pool.
Okay.
Well, when I first looked at it, I was like, okay, I want to do a pool. And then I'm not going to do a pool. I'm only going to do that. There's going to be no pool. My kids are 17 and 18, so I lost that chance.
I just have a question about the half bath. Would that have anything to do with the septic system? Would you have to get that revisions to that or upgrade anything?
Yeah, we had the septic system checked by the engineer. I think there's a letter out there somewhere. Which I don't know if it's
Yeah, so I am Lucy May, I am applicant to this.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you, Jack.
Lucy May.
So, tengo a carta do engineer.
No, but you submit application arrived in the health department and the health
So
department.
Mrs. Vasile already saw it.
I'm sorry?
Mrs. Vasile's department already saw it.
They have the letter, yes.
Yeah, they do.
And then there was something here about it being in a front yard setback, but really it's your backyard. It's just we're counting it.
And-
Front yard twice.
And I have.
Yeah.
I did measure too, and I have the setback even if it was for the front.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
On
but
the-
it appears it looks
Yeah.
like it's really the backyard.
Yeah, that came up.
Okay. No, it looks like a good point.
No comment for me.
Do we have anything from the health department about this?
The commission didn't make a request for a referral from them when they accepted this application. And furthermore, this is a customary process for them to review when it comes to the placement of an accessory structure or something of that effect. There's a private septic and well system on the property, which I believe in this case there is both, correct? There's private septic and well on this property.
Yes, correct.
Right, so they would have to receive a permit from the health department before they ever got a building permit to construct.
Just
Yeah.
checking. That's all. Sure. Thank you very much. I thought your comments did, and was very good. Thank you.
Paul, my
Yes.
there will be water and electricity and everything to this building?
Yes, sir.
And
I'm sorry. there. In looking at the pictures, you didn't show where it's gonna be, right? You didn't show the backyard.
I didn't know.
So is there a,
It's a hill there.
yeah, you're gonna have to dig out a whole lot?
I just had to dig it out about 3 feet into the mountain there because I do have a flat 25 feet out the door. So I'm gonna push a little bit into that little hill that I have back there.
So do you need a support wall so it doesn't come down?
I plan on do the whole back as cut in concrete as I'm gonna have
Mike, can you bring up the site?
my
plan?
barbecue
Yeah.
against that wall. Yes, we need a concrete wall back there.
Let me go any further.
You want the plus sign there, Mike, on the.
Oh,
far
yeah,
right.
you know what? That would probably help, huh?
There you go. And it's very faint, but you can see the outline of the proposed the accessory barbecue area. And it looks like, I don't mean to speak on your behalf, but it looks like there's a retaining wall that extends past the barbecue area, pretty much parallel to the house.
Yes.
In the rear part of your or in the backyard of your property.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, so that would be concrete.
Great. Is that something that needs to be shown or figured out?
It's right there.
No, I'm talking about drawing wise.
Well, it's on the drawing here.
Well, it's right there.
Proposing it, so part of the building permit, he's gonna have to show the details of the wall.
Well, what do you know what the height of the retaining wall would be?
Well, the building's gonna be not more than 16 feet, so up to the roof is probably 10 feet.
Yeah.
Um,
No, the height of the wall, not the height of the building.
yeah, probably gonna have the whole length of the building itself without the roof, so about 10 feet. About 8 feet, about 8 feet.
You're digging
I don't know
that
the
much?
details yet. I don't have to dig, I just had to protect the back of it, because there is a hill there. And the real is pure rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna have a structural engineer sign off on it, just a regular building permit.
For just the barbecue area or
For the
for?
wall.
Okay, understood.
If it's necessary, maybe it's not, because if you broke a little bit more rocks, you don't need a retaining wall.
Maybe. I'm not gonna push it back too much. Maybe 4 feet, like I said, but
So can you help me? So 4 feet, you're saying is roughly, let's say where the word proposed is, probably closer. Is it relatively flat back here and then it starts to grade up? Like you have a little bit of a backyard?
yeah,
So I think we're just getting I don't think that there will be a retaining wall. And I understand what you're talking about, the backside of your barbecue area being concrete, but I think once this is engineered, based on what you have a cliff? Is it a cliff or is it
no,
gradually go
it
up?
goes up.
Okay.
It just stays up. So I might have to dig a little bit out, build a retaining wall there, and put my
Sure.
building against that retaining wall. Just, it's, like I said, I'm, I don't mean,
It might, kind of sounds like a footing extension.
That's it.
That's all it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
yeah, rebars and concrete, like we would do, like it was a concrete wall. Maybe 6 feet, maybe 4 feet, maybe 8 feet. When we start building it, we will learn that.
The grade is flat in the back, but to build on 22 feet proposal, you need a broken
Sure.
3 feet ledge. That's the point.
Gotcha.
I have about 30 feet, I think, from my, outside of my door
Mhm.
to that point where it's flat. Maybe I want to push back another couple feet, then I have to beat that, but I will have to build some type of concrete wall there just to protect, so those drops don't keep it coming at.
Understood. Julie, have anything?
Couple questions. Heating and air conditioning?
No.
So, neither one.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. So, you know, the
I-
regulations call for not to exceed 400 square feet.
I understand, yes.
You're at 660. Outside gross area. That's 260 square feet or 65% above the regulation. Why do you need to go 65% above the regulation?
So to make the money I'm gonna spend on it, to have a comfortable spacing there, I won't have with 400 square feet. I plan on have a table this size in the middle there, barbecue over here, and 400 square feet will be this right here. It's gonna be high. So I'm planning, it's a big house, it's a big, property. So it's gonna be 25 feet, is that what it's gonna be?
22 by
29 by,
22.
22 by 30.
22 by 30.
so 20 by 20 will be 400. I'm doing extra 9 feet, to have,
You're within 18 feet of your main residence. Why do you need a half bath?
because
That whole section with the pantry and the half
that makes
bath.
sense.
and all of that.
Because I'm having people over, you know, I don't want people to get to me in and out from my house. We can just use that. You know, feeds, whatever, they're gonna make a mess, coming in and out through the kitchen, through the bathroom that is over there. Have a half bath there. You know, I'm being able to shut the water in the basement for the winter and no frozen pipe. I have like 5 outside faucets that I gotta do. It's just another one. And then, you know, full patio comes with it too. Yeah, like I said, trying to have a useful backyard on a house that I lived for 17 years and hopefully another 17 and being able to enjoy it.
Good for you. One last question. Do you know what the total lot coverage is with this proposed addition?
No.
But you can send it by email today. I
Yeah.
don't have those information right now. I'm sorry.
It's, yeah, we've got to format.
Go back to the map.
I think it, my
Yeah.
property is
There's a
3.8,
limit, right?
3.8 acres. The lot.
Right, there is a maximum impervious coverage. I'm not sure off the top.
Yes,
Um,
3.8 acres is just what's into it.
Yeah, I don't think.
Right.
No,
Right.
that's intense.
I have no real questions. It's pretty cut and dry to me. So, thank you.
Close the hearing.
Yeah, if there's any, no other questions or comments on the commission, we'll close this hearing. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We will move on to the public hearing. Continued public hearing for Kevin Cleary, 830 B12 unit at 105 Milwaukee Avenue.
Hope you got it, David.
Yeah, let me just get
Take
Steve
care.
in the right direction.
Comfy.
Yes. Okay. 105 Milwaukee Avenue.
Extended periods of time.
So here's the whole folder for 105 and you can go through it as needed, okay?
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Steve Trinkus, professional engineer for the record, representing, Kevin Cleary. So at the last, meeting, Beth had asked us to reach out to DOT, and I was able to reach out to DOT, and surprisingly, they were responsive. So a couple, changes to the plan, before I get into the DOT stuff. We originally had a retaining wall that was to the west of the 6-unit building, and it was close, about 2 feet off the property line. And there was concerns by neighbors of impact to the trees that are not ours. And it was gonna be a foundation coming out and then a wall, so it was gonna be more of a cantilevered retaining wall, not a modular block type wall. But with those concerns, I looked at the architectural plans, and on the back of each of these units, the only openings is a double window in basically the center of the room. So we eliminated the retaining wall, and we're gonna do window wells that are 2 foot wider than the windows themselves and put drains in the bottom. So we eliminate the retaining wall, we eliminate potential impacts to trees, and yet I still get light coming into the back of these units. So instead of this back wall being a framed wall, this will be a poured wall, and everything else stays the same with the units, but it eliminates all of that impact out there. Beth had also asked about the drainage, if I could shift this system towards the road. We do have zero increase because the area between the catch basins here and the road is simply being let to go out onto the edge of the road as it currently does. I looked at moving this, and because of the property line over here, I could only move it about 30 feet down, but I would have impacted, 4 more trees in here. So we opted to leave this in this location. Now, when I went to DOT, they were not enamored with, well, we had a stone infiltration bed here and basically overflow discharging onto the road. So we were going to connect to actually a Bethel system. There is a drainage system on the catch basin on the corner of Judd
And Judd Road's right here, and this is 302. There's a catch basin here. There's another catch basin about 100 feet north. This one, the grate is frozen in place. I wailed on it with a splitting maul to try and break the rust, and I could not. So I asked Tom Villa from Public Utilities if they can kind of break the grate, because it's also silted in, so we can't see the pipe. So the drainage will come from the detention system to a manhole diagonally across the road and then cut across Judd to the Bethel system. DOT does not have any drainage out here at all. So we've eliminated the stone bed, which eliminated the pump, eliminated the generator as far as that goes. DOT also, based on the 85th percentile speeds, the site distance had to be 335, which we have looking back towards town. We had only showed about 250 foot looking east towards Newtown. We can easily achieve that. We actually have 350 feet, and I did a profile along the sight line, so you can see there's no obstruction at all. The only other thing DOT asked is that when we come in for our encroachment permit, we'll retain a traffic engineer. We'll get the signalization data for the light here, and they'll look at different timing of the light for the queuing of vehicles on the road. They had no issues with the driveway. We showed the curve returns on here. And then, like I said, with the sight line. So a lot of the concerns that were raised at the initial hearing, particularly with the retaining wall, have gone away by that elimination as far as that goes. So we provided, a written response. We also provided just tonight the, printed copies of the plans. We addressed, we added a no parking sign for the fire marshal for this PVC paver area. There'll be grass. We eliminated the retaining wall. He also had concerns about that. Public Utilities wanted inverts on the sewer, which we've provided both at the where the main line comes in to our site. This plan. So where the laterals come off the main line, and also the inverts at the building. As far as that goes, Health had raised an issue about environmental professionals with the older house, but as I pointed out the last hearing, the house was torn down to the studs back in '88 and completely rebuilt. So anything older was gone at that point at the time. The police department, wanted a traffic study, and what we looked at, traffic counts are available on the DOT website. So at the intersections, 302 Putnam Park Road and 302, they had a lot of data. Basically, there's an average of about 9,500 trips going eastbound daily and 8,300 going westbound. Numerous times that they looked at this. This site has 11 units. Even if you assume 2 cars per unit, that's 22 cars when your base counts are 8,000 plus. So DOT, I went over that information with them. They're not concerned about the traffic coming out of here, but the traffic engineer will look at the queuing data, and they may change the timing of the lights. But that's all they're going to do as far as that goes. So those are really the changes that we made. We addressed the SLR comments previously prior to the last hearing. At this point, I think we've made it a better plan by eliminating the retaining wall, all the impacts associated with that, and also with the stormwater management system, now discharging, to a drainage system and not, over to this, front yard area at all. So I'd be happy to answer any additional questions you may have.
Excellent. We'll open up to the public. Is there any public questions, comments? Hearing none, I'll see if there's anyone online. Questions or comments?
I don't see anyone with a raised hand, Mr. Chairman, at least at this time.
Okay. Ken, we'll start with you.
You got rid of the pump, right?
Yes, yeah, the pump, the generator, that was all located here. So this will be a gravity flow system. So, and the pipe is also, I sized these pipes, particularly under Milwaukee and Judd, for the outlet flows from a 100-year storm. Typically, it's a 25-year storm. The pipe, the 100-year is a 1.9 CFS. All these pipes have substantially more flow capacity, than that. So it's really an oversized, piping system.
The other thing I was gonna say is, that intersection for years, the state refuses to put arrows so anybody can go left there. I mean, if you got any influence, this would be the time to do
Well,
it.
we will bring that up when we go for the encroachment.
I mean-
I would agree. I've come through that
Yeah,
intersection plenty of
all
times.
four directions, they
I
need
know.
arrows.
It would be nice to have a
And then
left
the
turn.
people trying to live there, they're gonna have a hell of a time getting out of there. At least the arrows might help a little.
Yeah, so we'll bring that up. DOT was actually very accommodating. I mean, I sent them, after I talked to them, we were gonna meet in the field, and then, Jason Maggie, who I was talking to, they had something come up, and just look, send me the plans. And he had his drainage guys look at it, and they're, along with him, and they got back to me in 2 days with comments, which quite honestly, I haven't had that from DOT in years. So there are some young conscientious engineers at DOT right now, at least in Thomaston. That's who I'm dealing with, so. So, yeah, so we'll look at that as part of it. They seem, to, be open to, improving it. Yeah, so.
Piggyback on, are you done, Ken?
Yeah.
On the traffic question, I feel like, you shared the data about eastbound, westbound traffic.
Yeah, and also on Putnam Park too, we had,
Gotcha.
Putnam Park was around, I think 4,000 vehicles coming up from Putnam Park. Yeah, 4,000 vehicles on Putnam Park. So you have 9,500 going towards Newtown, 8,300 coming back, and then 4,000 on Putnam Park. So, I mean, huge vehicle counts over a day. So,
I guess that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that volume is massive and whatever, occupancy or vehicle ownership exists in this plan, and adding to that is a drop in the bucket. But I almost think about it the other way. The accessibility of those roads from this unit, right? Or these units, knowing that there is such a high volume of traffic, being able to get in and out safely.
I've worked on this project, this actually, we started this back in 23. And, I was in and out of Kevin's property to do feasibility plans. And I took both left and right out here with no more of a delay than he really at Putnam Park Road intersection. So, I would say, yes, there have been times where it's a little longer, but people, if I'm taking a right turn out, they let you pull out. So.
Was there sight distance? You said there was a sight distance issue.
Well, I had done it, the
Right.
posted speed limit was 25 on this section, so 10 times was 250. They have the 85th percentile speed. It was, like 33 or something, so they asked for 335 feet. We have 350 feet.
To the,
So,
to the west?
We have plenty of room to the
west.
to the west, and I had only shown 250 to the
But
east.
you have more.
We have 350. Actually, probably more than that. I drew it at 350. So,
Okay.
so that exceeds their requirement there.
And that, Eric, you don't.
Well, and this is just like the worst case scenario I'm picturing in my head. Talk about making left turn going, westbound.
Yeah.
Left turn at the light is one thing, but I also feel like then now taking it a left turn into the property and just with the current congestion, that can be a challenge.
Well, the traffic engineer will look at that aspect. The police did recommend the left turn only sign.
Okay.
Left
turn only out
of the building going towards, coming out here, going left towards town. But what's interesting, the day I was out trying to get into the catch basins, I went, down, Greenwood by Caroluzzi's. Caroluzzi's have a left turn only. I had an F-150 pull right out in front of me, making a left turn out of Caroluzzi. So you can have a sign whether people abide by it or not. I think if it's really busy and you want to go left, you're probably going to make a right turn and go around the block. But when it's not busy during the day, if it's safe to take a left, I think people are. So, but the traffic guy will look at that when we go for the encroachment permit.
Gotcha.
Steve, you put window wells on the double window signs?
Yeah, the windows, window wells are 8 foot by, I believe, 3 foot, and the windows themselves are like just under 6 foot. So, the walls will be beyond the actual windows, and then there'll be drains that are set 2 foot below where the window is, and there'll be a drainage pipe running north and then tying into the drainage system. So we're not, most window wells collect water, but we're putting the drains in to prevent that.
They work until you get leads over the drain, then you got trouble.
Well, they're going to be open, so they'll be accessible, but, again, you put a slotted cap on, and there is maintenance. I mean, everything has maintenance, but, if you design for it, you can also minimize it too.
Okay.
Bob, any more questions?
No, that's good.
So, with just the window wells.
Yeah.
So there's no more retaining walls. So
Correct.
now are the buildings just kind of built into the hill? Because they're still like 10 feet change in grade there, right?
Yeah, it is. When I had the retaining wall, this back wall would have been wood framed, but now this back wall, I talked to the architect and we're going to make this back wall just a poured concrete wall up to the top of the first floor.
So you're still cutting back
Well,
the earth and the trees. You're not putting a wall in, you're putting a building in.
yeah, but we're, there's a couple trees that, are going to be impacted either way, these three. But the other ones along the property line around adjacent property will not be impacted.
You're still not cutting into the hill.
We are cutting into the hill, but you're going to cut into the hill and you're going to pour, basically a wall foundation wall. It's going to be 4 feet below grade and, 10 foot above grade. So
Similar to what you did over in Nashville for Tim?
yeah, similar. The units are cut into the hillside.
Cut into the hill.
And the
backfilled
back
against
wall
them.
is retaining wall.
Yeah.
And because, you've got the foundation coming all the way around, that provides a resistance to, what we call the overturning movement from the soil. So it's a retaining wall that's the back wall of the unit.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like 6 1/2 dozen to me, because you're still cutting into the wall and compromising some of the neighbors' trees. Like that 18-inch maple behind unit 3 is darn close to the property line and the.
Well, it is, but the window wells is going to be very close. This is only a 6-inch wall around the window well. But I looked at this out in the field. We're not going to impact this tree, Ivory Green Forestry, and this tree will be perfectly happy growing there for a long time after we do the work.
How far is that off the building?
What's
the scale of this?
The plans are, I think 10 scale.
Looks pretty close.
They're
Tree that
4
size,
foot.
very close
It
to the
was
building.
about 7 to 8 foot from the back of the building to the property line is what I believe we had before, because we had a 4-foot bench and then we had the retaining wall with 2 foot behind it. So it's about 7 or 8
I'm just
foot.
still not convinced that the neighbors' trees aren't going to be impacted, or the canopy from those trees aren't going to be impeding on our buildings. So-
I will say from my degree in forestry, we're not. I've built structures like this close to trees and the trees are growing well today.
Is there room in there for some arborvitae's in there?
We can put some arborvitae's back here, sure.
Yeah, little blockage.
Yeah, we can propose along, the back.
And then, the drain, can you show me the sketch with the drainage?
Yeah.
Where it goes, that's it,
Oh.
this is it. Yeah,
Okay.
follow it to the intersection.
Yeah.
What's the,
So
we don't really know what your tie-in is over there, because it's filled right now.
Well, I took a crowbar, and drove it down on, where the drainage pipe was. And I could feel the bottom of the pipe about 3.5 feet below the rim, but I just couldn't. I wanted to use a postal digger to actually dig it out, but
Where does that go down, Judd?
It actually goes down Judd. There's another basin down on the east side of Judd. So, yeah, it doesn't go. DOT has no drainage out here at all.
To piggyback off that while you're talking to it, and when you're talking to DOT, I'm sure coordination between them and the town is not gonna work, but you're putting a distribution box there. Is there any way we could make that catch a little bit of the water coming down Milwaukee Ave and help that intersection a little bit? Or-
I mean, yeah, we can make this a catch basin without a doubt. I mean, I made it. They said, why don't you just put manholes in, but we can make that a catch basin.
It seems like the neighbors had a lot of
Yeah, that
concern
would be,
about water
Well-
coming down. I know it's not gonna catch all of it.
Yeah, a lot of the water, the public spoke about, they're along Putnam Park, but a lot of it is coming from these homes up here above it. It's not along the roadway. After, I think it was 2 weeks ago, after the last hearing, another day, when it was cold, I drove down Putnam Park Road and a lot of the icing on the road is the water bleeding out of the hillsides from those homes, not water coming down the gutter line. It's what's bleeding out. So-
When you leave the driveway here, where's the crown of the road? Is the water flowing east or west there?
The water is predominantly flowing east.
So I
It
mean,
goes-
just like
it goes right
catch
around the
basin
corner.
there, even with the shed water that you said you're,
Yeah, we can,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean? If you're saying you're not, you're currently shedding off, at least try to catch it there.
yeah, we can put a catch basin here
It's a good idea.
without a problem. That can go there. This one wouldn't catch anything, so
Right.
we can leave that manhole. But yes,
And the
that,
one over there that's clogged.
yeah, and then it goes.
You know, what if that got clogged again? What would happen if this stuff backed up?
Well, water is going in it now and draining through the silt and going in the pipe.
Okay.
It's not functioning as well as it should be, but I will tell you, municipalities and cleaning catch basins is an oxymoron. I mean, the road I live on, I've been there 18 years, my catch basin's been cleaned once. It's an issue across the board, but, water is flowing in there, just not
Yeah, maybe after
sufficiently.
you get it cleaned out in the investigation,
Yeah.
maybe there's a
Well, I
replacement
think
for
they also,
something in there.
is the towns have really stopped using sand and using chlorides, that, you're not gonna have the sediment buildup.
Not Bethel.
Not Bethel.
Yeah, we still love sand.
Well,
Silt, nothing but silt.
well, the stuff that's in
And we
here
pick it up
has
and
been
use it
cleaned
again.
out in a long, long time, I can tell you that. But the other one, 100 foot north, you can see the pipes.
Well, that
So,
was probably going.
yeah, it's a
straight
little
down.
bit-
Only get cleaned when they get changed.
But yeah, we can make this a manhole without a doubt. This water on Milwaukee, a catch basin, because this water does go right around the corner of Putney Park and runs south, so.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the only state road I have ever seen that there is like no catch basins within 500, 600, 700 feet. It's,
Oh, it's the top of the hill.
I cut you off there, Jeff, sorry.
No, no, I like that we got rid of the pump system and on storage, in the front yard. I like that idea. I think that's it.
The other concern was just, safety and getting kids to school. Crosswalk. Is there a crosswalk there now?
yeah, this is a
Right-
crosswalk.
Currently right
yeah,
there?
Yeah, there's
So
two
we've
crosswalks.
got buttons and everything else that,
Yeah,
someone can
yeah,
go
you've
to.
got crosswalks both ways.
There's no sidewalk from
There's
our
no, there's a,
driveway.
yeah, there's a sidewalk on this side.
Piece of sidewalk.
Let me go back to one of the other plans, so you can see it.
You need an armed guard across that street.
Yeah, there is, hang on, may have to. Yeah, there is, okay. Yeah, there is a sidewalk on, at least right here.
Is there room for a sidewalk on our side to get to the cross?
It would, yeah, I mean, it could, yeah, from, our curve return, we could do a sidewalk right here within the right of way. Here's the
Looks like
property, here's the
line's
property
Pretty
line.
far back.
So, yeah, we could go from our curve return to this, the crosswalk.
Outstanding.
Yeah, we could do that.
Right, and if somebody wanted to walk that way, they gotta cross the street and get the other sidewalk.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Yeah,
a safe way
we
to
could
do
do
it.
the sidewalk. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Paul?
Only some public comment.
I'll get to you when we're done with the commission comments. Did you have any other questions?
No, that was it.
Kitty?
Thank you.
Do you have a final address of the police commission report, because it's very extensive.
Well, it is. I went through it and a lot of them
But
are
have
coming
they,
through traffic.
have you
No.
tell them?
I sent everything electronically to Beth, I think it was
Oh, you
Saturday
just-
sometime. And then these were just delivered today, so yeah.
Oh, so
Right.
they haven't, we don't have their response yet.
Right,
That's correct.
I was gonna add that on, after the commission had their comments.
thank you.
Kitty.
Yeah, no, and no one has seen these yet.
Right.
These are brand new.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
Because I didn't,
I'll wait
I
until
didn't
we
get,
have
I
all the
didn't,
comments.
I didn't get
before I
DOT stuff
ask my
till the end of
question.
last week, so that's why.
Okay, no
the plans came in
problem.
over the weekend, so.
I know new drawings are new drawings. That's,
So.
Diane?
Since there's been several different changes on this, can you just show us, so you have one apartment that somebody's still in right now in the
Yeah,
house?
the existing house has a 4-bedroom unit in the main house. There's a 2-car garage here with, again, just kind of storage rooms above it. So we're gonna close off the garage and make it livable space and make this a 1-bedroom apartment within the existing house. So it's all internal renovations.
So how many units are there altogether?
11. There's, the 4-bedroom, a 1-bedroom, and 9 2-bedrooms.
So the 9 are all the new built.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, according to our thing here, this is 12
It
units.
was originally 12 because
Oh, so your new
originally,
plan,
yeah, originally a
It's
3-unit building was taking the place of the house. So Beth had made the suggestion, of either turning the 3-unit building, this way, or possibly keeping the house. And I spoke with Kevin, he talked to a contractor, about renovating it, and it was a reasonable cost to renovate it. So, we got rid of the 3 units there and just renovate the house and leave it because it has a front porch, has the walkway, so we're not
Mhm.
changing that streetscape.
and the driveway is staying where it is.
The driveway comes in exactly where it is. I mean, this is the existing driveway right here, so our alignment is right over it. It's just getting wider than what it is today.
Well, I'm gonna wait for my comments, till I get all the comments from your new plan.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Guys, you have anything else?
Once again, we're talking about the dumpster issue. That seems
Yeah,
to be
I-
the biggest thing.
Well, actually, Mr. Marcus and I spoke about that today. And I was gonna send Beth an email because it was the end of the day. What we're gonna do is we're gonna eliminate the dumpster pad. We're gonna use toters, basically the wheeled garbage cans for each unit. So we're not gonna have a dumpster pad. I mean, I hate to get into this debate over this dumpster pad, but the bottom line is you heard Mr. Draper at the last meeting about 53 Taylor Avenue, that if you have too big of a pad, people do not put the garbage in the dumpsters, they put it on the pad. And if you're worried about, rats and vermin and everything else, garbage that's not in the dumpster is a problem. The garbage guys want a smaller pad, so they force the users to put it in the dumpster pad. I speak from experience a little bit. With our fraternity in New Hampshire, we're dealing with 19 and 20-year-old kids, which is a separate issue, but we originally had a larger area and these kids are so lazy, they just put them outside the dumpster. And then we moved the fence and we made it tighter. And now they have to put it in the dumpster. So it's actually a cleaner use. But in this case, we're going to eliminate the dumpster. We had this conversation after I printed these and go with garbage toters where the truck will pull in. They can have the arm, they can pick them up, dump it in the truck, put them back and be done with it. So I was going to send Beth an email tomorrow, with that change for the record. So
There'll be garbage cans that the garbage people have to actually go on the property to pick it up.
yeah, the garbage truck would have to come on the property anyway to pick up the dumpster. So
Yeah.
it's still coming in.
I'm just seeing that garbage cans are gonna stay on the property, not be brought to curbside.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be on the property, Bob. It won't be along Milwaukee Avenue.
Okay.
So it'll be like outside each unit.
Yeah, outside each unit, so they'll come in and it's a straight shot. They can just use the electronic and pick them up and dump them and put them back. So that'll.
And that's what they do over at Tom Grove.
Yeah, they do this all the time. I actually have a project in Milford where it's a bunch of duplex manufactured housing. I think there's 75, give or take. And that's what we have there. And the truck just goes down the road and picks them up.
These all have garages.
None of these have garages. So these would be
They
outside.
leave the pail outside.
Yeah,
all the
they're gonna
time.
be outside.
Is there room for that
Yeah, we
truck
do
to
have,
turn around?
yeah, the big the big
Okay.
pad there. Yeah, that's why we put that there. to Keep it green, but provide a turning area. So that's what we're gonna do. So we'll put an email in the record tomorrow on that. So,
There's parking out in front of the building.
Well-
Seems weird. So now the
Yeah.
garbage cans go on the backside of the parking in the driveway?
Yeah, well, on the side where there's parking, the people may have to just bring them out to the edge of their space on that side. The other ones, opposite, the 3 units can be right out in front, so.
So
Yeah, I
the,
don't like it. I guess it doesn't matter if I like
Well,
it.
Well, or, if the pad stays the same.
Yeah, it matters, but I'm not sure.
We can go either way, but the bottom line is the pad is staying the size it is. And the main reason for it, and I'm not trying to be a pain in the rear, is that the health department can only enforce the health code. There's absolutely nothing in the state health code about dumpster pads. So no jurisdiction.
The intention of the bigger pad is to
So
put a
you're
bigger dumpster on
Yeah,
it?
you don't need it. The 8x10 for this site is more than adequate for the garbage guys. I'll tell you that.
Except
So,
that the other day, our lawyer said something different, that the health department can determine.
with all due respect to Chuck Andrews and Laura, she has no jurisdiction over the size of a dumpster pad. I've confirmed that with Matt Pollock at the state health department. That's the bottom line. She does not have she has jurisdiction over vermin and all those issues. Nobody disputes
Well,
that.
that's
But-
why she's.
But the
trying to
pad
prevent
has nothing to do with that.
The size.
So what
size
you're actually
of the
saying
The
is
size.
that you only follow state rules. When you bring an application here to Bethel, you don't have to follow the state people, the Bethel.
You don't have any regulations in the health department or zoning under the size of the dumpster pad. Absolutely none. So it defaults, it's a jurisdictional issue. That's what it really comes down to, Kitty.
But before,
It's a health issue.
hold on, what size, remind me,
This is
what
8x10.
size, and what size is it?
She wants 10x12.
We're arguing over 4 feet.
It's, in my professional opinion, it is
I
a
just wanted to make sure
jurisdictional
I
issue.
understood that
Yes, that's
correctly.
all it is, but it's a jurisdictional issue. And contrary to the discussion on 9 Putnam Park Road, about it being a health issue, the size is absolutely not an health issue in any shape or form. I've done the size of a pad in
It
many
was the
projects.
screening, I think.
Before- I just want to make sure I'm clear. You said 8x10?
Yeah.
Is what you want to do?
Yeah.
The health department's 12x10.
With no justification.
And
So
you
that's
guys,
square feet.
as the applicant, are okay if with the 8x10, it'll be a concrete
It's a concrete pad with a
concrete
fence.
bed, because that was asked in a public meeting
Yeah. it's
by the
concrete.
public instead of asphalt, and it mean, we all know a dumpster on asphalt in the summers and a sink in,
Well, yeah,
so
they're concrete.
so concrete
Pads-
makes
pads-
sense.
pads are-
screened in,
Yep,
so you don't see
white
it.
vinyl fence with a gate, yep.
Okay,
I'd rather see some kind of regulation that makes them close the gate.
Yeah, it is a gate.
and it's gated in the
It's
front.
gated in the front, so. They open it, pick up the dumpster, dump it, put it back, close the gate.
Nobody closes them.
But but the 4 square feet.
Well, he's not doing it in this project, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, we,
It's a moot point. It's getting.
yeah, we're gonna get rid of
Yeah,
it.
but
We're
delete it,
gonna
yeah.
get rid of it
But
and
he's
use the
deleting it
garbage
because
can.
he doesn't want to have to deal with that.
Which I can't blame him, to be honest with
Well,
you.
I'm with Paul.
No.
on that.
To be honest, this is a kind of a ridiculous argument, if you ask me. But that's just my opinion.
Maybe, but I follow, Ramsey and regulations are, it's two-sided. I follow them in design, reviewing agencies, follow them looking at it. And if I comply with the applicable rule, that's it. There's no comment. But again, if all your sanitarians in the 169 towns can only enforce the public health code.
No, and I appreciate that.
And that's my position.
I
on
do
it.
appreciate that, and I appreciate the health department trying to go above and beyond, but it just,
There's,
I don't know if it's above and beyond, but she's trying to enforce what she thinks is correct, and I get that, but
so we're not gonna
have
do
a
it.
smaller dumpster, really just is all I see
Dumpster
it.
pad. Dumpster inside the pad is gonna be the same size.
Just for the record,
Marcus, we've had this discussion way too often, and this afternoon, I suggested Steve eliminate the argument.
Yeah, no,
Because
I
problem
can't
is-
blame you.
Everybody complains to the garbage guys. You left all the junk sitting outside the dumpster. These guys say, our job is not to clean up the dumpster pad. If you made it a smaller dumpster pad, people wouldn't, the garbage guys want it one way. Laura wants it another. I've never known the reason that Laura has for the extra 4 feet. It's a ridiculous issue, but rather than fight with our garbage pickup guys, the easier way is to make each resident responsible for his own garbage can, like probably most of you are in your houses. And that's the way to do it. But to your point, if you decide that you'd prefer the 8x10, we would probably say we would go back to that. But we're not going to put in the larger pad. We'll go to the individual cans.
Okay,
And not in the argument. I happen to agree with you.
No, I
There's not
understand.
gonna be a dumpster, period.
I was just gonna eliminate it.
So why are we even talking the other? the other
I
subject?
just needed to ask for my own clarity.
And what about the fire department? Have you clarified
Fire-
everything with the
Fire department can, he said he can come in,
January
he can
6th, he
turn.
has a report here.
Yeah, so, yeah.
And he had concerns. Did you take care of that?
Yeah, we first, well, yeah, we added no parking sign, we eliminated the retaining wall, which was one of his concerns about fighting fire there, so now you're gonna have a concrete wall in the back of the building now, not wood framing, so.
He was concerned about the ladder.
Yeah, well, the retaining wall's gone, so there's no issue with the ladder, because you got the existing grade there, so you can put the ladder from the existing grade up. He's only got to reach up 1 story now.
I'm not
Only the
sure.
second floor.
Did you say that in your letter in response? I don't remember seeing that.
Well, we eliminated retaining wall, which eliminated the issue he had about a ladder at the base of the wall getting to the second floor. So by eliminating the wall, that issue went away also. So.
It'd be nice if when he has an issue, that you talk to him and then we get his
Well, we
opinion
do,
too.
I do one written response with all the comments, Kitty, so there's not 8 letters.
Well, I realize that, but I'd like to be able to see it in writing. And I don't see it, but that's okay. I mean, I'll wait for my comments for, when we get everything next meeting.
Steve, last time on the south end of the site,
Mhm.
the bottom of the 24-foot watered road, you had delineated that as a snow collection area.
Yeah, it's on one of the plans. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it doesn't have to be exact.
right, yeah, no, it's a odd shaped area, basically from this corner of the parking around the grading, into there. So,
So do,
and if we actually, with eliminating the dumpster pad, now there's another area of what would be lawn for snow storage also.
okay,
And same thing in the front yard because I don't have my stone bed there.
that was my question. What are the areas that you now have for snow collection?
Well, snow collection would be just one area at the south end, with dumpster
Which is
pad.
limited because you got your property line there. right?
Yeah, well, yeah, got the property line here. So that's one area. With the elimination of the dumpster pad, now I have an area here which I can designate. We also have along this side of the driveway, this will be a lawn area here. So that's additional snow storage, as is the front yard. So there's really plenty of space here now for doing it. Of course, we still haven't gotten a lot of snow this year, but there's plenty of spaces now for it.
All right, thank you.
What's this for? So, sorry, I jumped in before about the dumpster, but, the window wells, are those also like, escape, for fire escape? They have a step in them if someone needs to get out through that window?
Yeah, they'll only be actually, the window well to finish grade is only gonna be about 3.5 feet.
Oh, so it's,
So it's not deep. We're not making the window wells go down to the bottom of the foundation. They're just 2 foot below the windows, and the windows are yay high off
Yeah.
the floor. So, yeah, so they're easily accessible to get out.
Keep writing this down. I also appreciate the whole removing the back, retaining wall and doing what you guys could do to get a little bit further away from the neighbors and their trees.
Right.
It sounds like that dumpster pad is going away. Was there a thought to adding something else there as far as another parking spot?
No, I have enough parking, so I don't need to add any more space.
I appreciate the updates and I concur with the other commissioners about the sidewalk out on the corner and the catch basin. I think those should be great additions.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all I got for right now. We had a member from the public. Yeah, something. Come on up, sir. State your name and address.
Yeah, my name's Joe Wilshaw. I live at
I'm sorry,
Park. Joseph Wilshaw. I live at 2 Button Park, the neighbour's property there. we all talk about putting a sidewalk, so I assume that would come over to my property. I had my house staked a few years ago. There isn't that, much room on the lot there to get to the light. And is town rules, if someone puts a sidewalk on your lot, are you then responsible for the snow clearance on the, so then I would have to then go on that really busy corner from my front door to the other side of the lot, walk around it or walk across the snow to clear a lot, which for someone else to gain 11 properties, I would then be responsible for the sidewalk. Is that how it would work? I mean, I don't think that's really fair. Also, I mentioned about school buses. I don't know if anyone's ever spoke to the school buses, how they would pick up children. Beth mentioned that, say each property had 2 kids, there are 22 kids. They can't, I mean, it's young kids, they have to get to the bus. Are the bus going to stop on the main road there, peak hours, or is the bus going to come into the property to try and turn around to pick up the kids? I don't know if that's been talked about. And then for the water situation, my basement had water damage a few years ago. I had it waterproof, since I had a lot of money to get that done. I am lower down from the gradient, so water I am concerned about. There's natural drainage right now. If you put blacktop there and then think it's going to be, it's going to drain off onto mine. I don't know how they're going to grade it. So, the few things, my concerns are that road is a terrible road, but I know you guys hide with the state of what you guys can do, and the whole town is hating this project. They really are. Like, it's just, we can all say it. I know that these guys doing it for profit. It's all they're doing it for. But if you can just, look at the bigger picture, it's not a good idea. I mean, if I was an individual coming to you and I had a 0.7 acre lot, what could I build on that lot by myself? Like, what would the town allow me to build? Maybe a one house, maybe one single house, and they're putting 11 right on my doorstep. It's just, this is my family home for my kids, and now I'm gonna look out my window and see that. So that's all my concerns. I want to appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Is there any other public comments? Anyone else online?
I'm not seeing any hands raised at this time, Mr. Chairman. I would say for those who aren't familiar with attending Bethel Planning and Zoning Commission meetings, there is an icon of a hand in a toolbar at the bottom of the Google Meets app. If you click on that button, that lets us know that you have public comment that you want to offer. Still not seeing any hands.
While you're waiting on that, let me just address the neighbor's comments. From a drainage standpoint, we're actually intercepting all the water from our site, the buildings and the parking driveway up to these catch basins is going into the stormwater system. The driveway also has a curb on it, so all of this water is going out to the Judd Road intersection. It's not going as overland flow to the east where the homes off Putnam Park are. According to the survey by New England Land Surveying, this is the right-of-way line from 302 going on to Route 58. So the sidewalk would be in the right-of-way, and I believe similarly the sidewalk on the north side of Milwaukee Avenue is maintained by the town. So that would be, that little short section would be town maintained. It's not going to be on private property either way. Also at the last meeting on Taylor Avenue, Mr. Draper got up because he's done many of these and provided numbers of the school kids that have been in any of his developments, and they are really almost nil and none. So you're lucky to have 1 or 2 kids in this project, school-aged kids. You're not going to have 22 kids on this. And I know Beth said afterwards that, she appreciated the information because it's real world. This is the people that are renting these, and here's the kids. So that's the information. So the affordable housing projects rarely have a large number of kids. I've done them in other towns. We have one in Fairfield, one of the ones I did years ago, is 56 units. There was 1 kid in 56 units, and they were 1 to 2 bedrooms. So, I mean, that's just the reality of the people that rent these.
Just to be clear,
the sidewalk is not going to be on his property.
Correct, it's in
And
the
he
right
will
of
not
way.
have to maintain it
That's
at all.
correct, it's in the right of way. Yeah.
It's in the town property.
Yeah, I don't think
It's in
that's
the-
accurate. If the sidewalk falls in front of your property, you're responsible for it. You'll be
Yeah.
ticketed. I used to- I
Everybody
lived
does it.
downtown and that was a real case.
That's correct, Mr. DeRosa.
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
So he
thank you, because that's correct.
Yeah, I'm sure different
Well,
municipalities.
I'll ask the state, because it's actually in the state
Well,
right
yeah,
of way.
because if somebody got hurt on his
Maybe
property,
a state might be
I'll-
right away, might be different than.
I'll
right
check
away.
with the state, because it's in the state right of way, not the town right of way.
Yeah, check
Three oh
with-
two and 58 are state highways.
Yeah, you can follow up with the state.
Yeah.
Sidewalks downtown, you gotta take care of that by the homeowners.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
please check on
Yeah,
that
I'll
first.
check with the state.
I think it's a very viable, something that this homeowner would
But
like
the
to do.
sidewalk, I think, is important for safety reasons, so it's a bit of
Right.
And
a.
it's not that long of one. I'll also, if the state says, no, we'd have to maintain it, I don't think, Mr. Cleary would be opposed to, maintain it. It's a short distance.
Right.
It's only
If he's
4 foot
gonna-
wide,
He's hiring someone to plow them.
Yeah, plow it, it's not shovel it. So-
But still, somebody could fall and get hurt. And
Yeah.
who would be responsible, that's
Well, if it
key.
gets clear, well, you clear it.
And these days, that is key, who is responsible? So if you make that clear to us, that would be great. The state could help us.
Yeah, just not a sidewalk question, but a kid's question. The information that Mr. Draper shared with us 2 weeks ago, I think that's all well and good, and I think I'd appreciate having that summary corroborated by the school district. I mean, can we ask for that information?
We recently received it.
Yeah.
And will it specify
Well, no, not
which,
specified.
Not specified down to each property, because
right, because I feel,
that's an invasion of someone's property, or business, basically, but privacy. They had, information from the school buses and where they were picking kids up.
Yeah.
And how many.
sure, I feel like I appreciate the flip side of it, where there's a convenient argument to be made about there's no kids living here, and I think I want to just know if that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Did you get the email?
Did you get that?
Because it was pretty detailed.
Yeah, we recently got something like that from the Board of Ed within the
Yeah, but it wasn't-
last
yeah,
month or so.
but you hear what I'm asking about, we're saying.
Specific to
okay,
830G
These 4
applications?
properties, I have
Oh,
one
okay.
kid living,
Gotcha.
right? And I just want to know that that's true, and because that helps
Well,
me
I don't think,
understand.
separating 830G from other multifamily, quite honestly, is inappropriate. If you're gonna look at kids, you look at similar apartment complexes and
Right.
housing developments. That's an apples to apples comparison.
Sure, I guess the point is being brought up because the concern is coming from the other people in town about,
Yeah.
well, what happens if families with multiple kids live here? And the response is, oh, there's no kids that live here, and I just want to know
Well,
if you're sharing that. if
We
that's
could,
true.
we could get that, if you've got your school bus information,
Yeah, I'm
That
trying to
shows
look
you-
it up, but I can't.
they tell you by location, and if you're at a multifamily location. The planning office has the record of what's been approved under HSMG. That information could be assembled very quickly.
Gotcha.
That's not hard to do.
I just had one other question. You have on your letter, which is, February 7th to Beth. You're dealing with the police department's information and the counts that you had were from like 2007 and 2010 from the state. So,
That was more than 13. That was most recent data. It's right on their website. But if
isn't
you,
that kind of old?
well, if you look at it, it's very consistent.
It's
I
still,
mean,
it's still 10 years ago.
This intersection has been in here, I don't know when Judd was in there, but Putnam Park on 302, I grew up coming from Reading that way, so that's been there for years. But over the 3 periods though, it's, 9,000 one way, 8,000 the other way, and 4,000 on 58.
But
So
the
what-
reality
what was the
is,
most recent?
Mr. Triggs, if I may, that we have much more housing built since 2013. And these extra 10 years, there's many more people living in this area. So we'd like that
Well,
addressed.
there's really not much multifamily out of this area, but I'll talk to DOT. But this is what's online, but it's still, I mean, if
Something
anything, the
more-
counts might be higher, which would
Make
make
up
our
smaller
traffic
percentage.
much even smaller compared to the base numbers.
They replaced that light. The DOT replaced that light, within the last 5 years. So they probably have newer data.
Yeah,
that
this
it's
is
not-
what was available online.
No, no,
I'll check with
What I'm
Jason.
suggesting is when you
Yeah.
talk to your newfound friend up there,
Well, I
maybe.
wouldn't go that far. Somebody that's.
But no,
responsive,
seriously,
but-
see if they,
No,
it's
I'll
worth
see
an
if
ask.
they have, this
They
is
have-
what was readily available. on
Yeah,
the
if they
website,
have
so.
updated data.
That would be
Can
very helpful.
can you find out from the school how many kids walk across there?
We
to go to
can
school?
ask, we'll walk across them.
Yeah, I mean, because we're concerned about kids walking across at that light and everything else at
Well,
this
when
point,
I was
right?
out looking at the catch basin trying to open it, the school buses were coming out of the school complex. It was closer to 3, so that's probably the younger kids. And there were no kids walking on
Not little
Judd.
kids,
No,
maybe big kids,
well,
you know.
yeah, but,
Yeah, they
you know,
do.
but there was no kids walking on Judd at all.
Yes, they do.
Well, not the day I was out there, I'm just saying. I was out there at
I
that
I think
time.
that's a key thing. how many-
So-
They are, and they're not, they're maybe not the little children, but they're the, slightly, maybe 9, 10, 11. I've seen, middle school or high school kids also, when school is out, because I go through that often.
I'm just saying the day I was out there,
Yeah.
the
There are
buses were
a
coming
lot of
out
children who
with
walk
kids,
that
but
way.
nobody was walking on the road.
Well, then, at this time of year, no.
Yeah, it's
But-
January, February, no one's.
But
I took the
a
bus
lot
home
of children
in January,
walking.
February, I didn't walk. I took the bus.
I'm so old, we didn't have buses.
Oh, boy. One
Well, I
other
came
thing
from
before we move
Milwaukee and
on,
that
Me too, Kitty.
if we were,
No,
if we do
That's why it was so tough.
draw out the sidewalks, would you guys be willing to do the sidewalk right in front of your property going westbound as well?
Well, there's no other sidewalk going that way. I
There
think when we-
isn't, but if you go down 2 properties, there is. So we're
Well, I
always
think,
trying to make a
well,
sidewalk.
I think like we did on Cindy Lane, Dave Galthier's, was that if the town brought the sidewalks from Milwaukee town,
Maybe put them in
to
later.
the site, Dave would put them across
Okay.
his property. And I think, again, if it gets up to here, we'd be happy to extend it, but,
The next house up going west there,
I'd have
a
to
real
look.
big bank there.
Yeah, there's
There's a
it
tall
ends at
fence,
that
yeah.
bank. and then-
This is
So it's
the
only
bank
1 or
right
2
here.
spots.
Right.
Yeah, so it's there, the sidewalk's there. Just, you're only 1 or 2 houses away, so.
I think the same thing. If the town brings it up to us, we
Yeah.
go across on the frontage.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
and not build sidewalks.
So we're looking at continuing this
I think so.
Well,
yeah.
we have
to
to.
the next meeting?
Well, I'm gonna be out of town on, a conference the 25th and
Okay, so you're
Same
going to
thing,
the
my
first
email,
meeting in
March,
March?
and that's why I'm gonna ask Beth for TD and Sons, because we're getting a traffic study there. But it's not gonna be ready by the 25th.
Okay.
So I guess your first meeting in March.
Okay,
would be
first,
the-
do we need an extension? Do we need an
Uh,
extension?
I'm glad you asked
Nobody
that,
ever
Mr.
watched
Chairman,
that.
because I was going to ask that housekeeping question as well.
Well, you opened this,
Hearing opened on January 14th,
yeah, so
so
30 days
So-
gets us to.
I'll give you
today.
You can get this one? Okay, excellent.
we'll give it to you and we will.
You'll get
Oh,
figure it out
it is
tomorrow.
the 11th.
Confirm it. Yep.
March 11th.
Thank you.
Okay,
And we'll continue this to March 11th.
thank you.
And you are getting a
Yeah.
traffic
I'm gonna
study.
ask you to stay right where you are.
We are getting a traffic study.
Oh, yeah.
March 11th, we said, right? All right, so that public hearing for
Oh, that-
105 Milwaukee is continued to March 11th. And we are going to move into the continued public hearing for TD and Sons.
That was set for 2 weeks.
No, that
You
one
said that a
is.
while.
Yeah, but we're supposed to just continue it until February.
Oh, yeah,
26th.
I just continued it.
Yes,
Okay.
which I'm gonna ask.
And then you're gonna ask to continue that again.
Yeah, 'cause I will be out of town.
That's two.
Oh, so you want that to be March 11th?
All right,
So, yeah, because I'm not gonna have the traffic study by the
So we're all-
25th, Kitty.
Okay, so we're gonna continue the TD and Sons 53 Taylor Avenue,
I will send you a request.
also to March 11th.
Do we need an extension on that one, Jim?
Then,
Actually, that only opened 2 weeks ago, so I don't.
So to March 11th, you're gonna go by the original 35 days.
Okay.
yeah, so we'll get an extension from you guys as well.
Oh, Taylor. Oh.
We'll do.
All right, now I think I'm done with you guys.
Okay,
Thank you very
thank you.
much.
Okay. All right.
We are going to move into the business meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from last meeting? No, we got a full house. Do you have any, discussion on the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. We do have an invoice. We added that to
Lucky
the
to add to pay the invoice of, what, does it have
six hundred ninety-four and 50 cents.
Oh, 50, I'm sorry, $694.50.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Moving to the work session, we,
Hold on, Paul. What,
Yes.
should add to the agenda 42 Nashville?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we haven't
that
got
comes-
there yet.
That comes after.
We're not a new business
That
yet.
comes after work session.
we haven't got there yet.
I just wrote it down.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
Mr.
Chairman, if-
Moving into the work section, I know it was discussed about,
Is that on the
yes.
agenda?
adding
No,
the.
No, he's right,
They're-
right.
No.
Mr. Maron.
He's kidding. For what?
What?
So,
Great, so on it.
go ahead.
We discussed about, it was discussed about adding the new business 42 Nash, or I'm sorry, the, 27 Hoyt Road.
Yeah.
To the work session. So can I have a motion to add 27 Hoyt
So
Road
moved.
in a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. So work session, we're gonna talk about 27 Hoyt Road.
I didn't mean to jump on you there,
Marin.
Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to make sure you remember
No,
to
no,
do that.
I got you guys. I got you guys. All right, anybody have any thoughts on 27 White Road?
Let the guy build it.
I think he did a great job and in his paperwork and came here and discussed it and showed us everything that, you know, I needed to know.
I was concerned that he did not show a photo of the backyard where he was actually putting it, so it just seemed a little.
We don't get photos.
Well, no, he did it of all the other parts, but not where he's gonna build it.
I got you, but he's also just trying to show his
Property.
line coming down his driveway and then the closest house.
I know, but.
I
but that
know where
didn't
the
show-
optics of
But
it.
it didn't
yes.
show, you know, how much he's gonna have to chop out the backyard there and all that
He
stuff.
said, he told you, 16,
Okay,
you know.
and then maybe a 10-foot wall, or whatever.
Do you want the commission to explore screening? Is that why you asked that question? Screening, correct.
No, my concern was the bank and having, you know, then he's going into the bank with the addition.
Right, so the way I would interpret his testimony was that it appears as though the backside of the barbecue area would be inset into a wall that would extend past the building. So he would be removing material from his property
Right,
to install the structure.
right.
You see that, yeah.
So
It wasn't real clear. And you couldn't see how many, you know, we got a lot or-
I know.
Dan?
yes, Captain.
I thought for this, the only reason we're passing judgment on this is because he wanted a larger structure, not how he builds.
No,
That instead of 400
that's-
feet, it's 600.
that's-
Correct.
You're right,
Right.
man, that's right.
So we can't pass judgment on this, only on the amount of excess over 400 square feet. That's the only decision we get to make here, correct?
right, I was
Okay.
just offering clarification.
I'm looking on the Google Drive, I was just trying to understand what the project was initially. And, I guess we don't need to see architectural drawing or anything else with these.
What's this say?
That's not an architectural drawing, that's just a. plan.
Well, it's not a floor plan there.
You have interior floor plans. As I noted in my comments, we don't have, the applicant did not provide exterior elevations of the structure.
Right.
It would be, remiss of them not to keep the structure under 16 feet. That's measured from the base of average grade to the midline of the roof. Because otherwise, I won't be able to approve it, and then we'll have to go through this all over again for different reasons. You know,
He
I,
stated it's gonna stand at that 16 feet.
right,
That's what he said.
right. So
And Diane, as much as I want to see architectural drawings too, and the project floor plan, we can only really comment and make suggestions. It's not a condition of if we want to approve it based on what this thing looks like.
Okay.
I'm with you. I'd love
I
to see it.
just wasn't sure what we're supposed to be getting, but I just felt like I didn't get enough, you know,
Well,
just
isn't it bottom line, the only reason we're discussing this is because it's
of the size.
Right.
in the
No.
front yard.
You're
I can't hear you.
discussing this for two reasons. If I may offer this clarification. One is that the applicant's seeking an exception to be allowed to place this in his front yard because his lot is considered a through lot. He doesn't have a conventional or traditional rear yard. So he's looking for an approval from you guys to be able to do that. The second reason, as Mr. Parson already mentioned, is the size. He wants to go 260 square feet over what's normally allowed in the regulations. He's looking for a special permit to do that.
That's why the special permit.
And it's,
So I'm in favor of letting him build this, but this is the second time in less than 6 months that we encounter a situation where somebody comes in with a secondary structure that exceeds the 400 square feet.
Mhm.
And I justify this in terms of, as Mike correctly pointed out for me the last time, lot coverage. But then I have to say, why do we have the 400?
I don't think we want to just get out of hand and have somebody have an accessory structure that's 3,000 square feet.
Provided it doesn't exceed. the-
I get it, but even if he could do 3,000 according to lot coverage, right? You could do 3,000 square feet because and that would be insane to the neighbors, right? We're talking, I know where you're coming from. What's the arbitrary number of
It's
floor?
an
But
arbitrary.
it isn't though, because if you think about like a 2-car garage, minimum 20 by 20. So that's really where that comes from, is that 400 square feet number. We wouldn't want to be sitting here talking about every 20 by 20 garage that comes in or shed. But when they start to do a little bit more custom structures like this, it's not really us to decide. It's also for the neighbors to come in and say, hey, this is going on. And we've notified the neighbors. None of them showed up or gave. There were notifications.
Yeah.
And-
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
no, they
so-
did. yeah.
So it gives them the opportunity to say, hey, this isn't right, right? And so that's the way I view it. I know where you're coming from. Like, it does seem arbitrary, but when I start to think
It
about it.
seems we're playing favorite. There is, just a minute, please. And I had this discussion with Beth when the first one came along. There was no hardship in the first one. There is no hardship in this one. It's kind of like, are we in the mood to approve it or are we not in the mood to approve it? I think as a commission, we need a little soul searching here. In my opinion, as I said, I'm in favor of letting him, giving them, I will vote yes for the construction.
So are you suggesting that we take a look at the regulations
Yes,
and then possibly raise that number to 100
or delete that altogether.
or delete it altogether?
Whatever we decide.
Can I offer two
I don't
kernels
wanna
of
be
wisdom,
wrong.
Mr. Chairman?
What's that?
May I just offer two quick kernels of wisdom? Okay, so, and I'm not trying to beat this to a dead horse or however the expression goes, but it in your regulations, okay? There are 3 different size limitations when it comes to accessory structures. For sheds, it's up to 400 square feet. For garages, it's up to 900 square feet, and for barns, it's up to 1,200, okay? You've seen garages as accessory structures that have been well over 900 square feet that you have allowed with a special permit. You know, if someone wants to do, for whatever reason, a garage that's larger than a 30 by 30, which would perhaps be the traditional size for a 3-car garage, right? This commission has granted special permits for that purpose. Now, I think the special permit request that you're speaking to is more in line with a shed, right? Where there were no cars, it wasn't a barn, it was just someone trying to
A pool house.
Right, right. But it's an accessory use that would otherwise be ancillary to the principal use of a property. In other words, it's not for a business. It's not for a separate dwelling unit. It's to function as an accessory to the principal residence of the property. So
It's a party shed.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the off time of the year, the good time of the year. There's no heat in it, there's no air conditioning in it.
To speak to Mr. Kozlowski's points that he made, the threshold is kind of arbitrary in the sense that it was a number that the commission crafted however many years ago. And in all the time since that number has existed, the commission hasn't seen a reason to change it. Again, I don't want to beat this with a dead horse, but this is part of why it's a special permit. You have discretion. And you asked why he thought he needed that size.
I appreciate your detailed explanation.
Sure.
The other one that we had was a guy who wanted to build a shop and house all of his toys. Right? His boat, his Sea-Doo, his snowmobile, plus a workshop in the back.
And he had a landscape business.
And then that one was in the front of the house. My point is that as a board, my impression is it's arbitrary. If we're in a good mood, we say yes. And God knows what happens if we're not in a good mood. So my suggestion, it's not a motion, it's a suggestion that we should take a look at this specific situation and the regulations governing it. That's a suggestion. The commission can say yes or no. That's fine. I've said my piece.
Well, and what I would invite you to do, and this goes for any commission member with any regulation in the book that you think should be changed. Put something down on paper, like write down, look at it and say, make a suggestion and bring it to the board when we have one of our commission comments in the meeting. Say, hey, I was looking at regulation ABC. It says this. I would suggest this. We'll get the feeling of the board, and if we want to move forward with it, we can schedule the public hearing, have the hearing, and then vote on a change. It's just no different than what we've been talking about TOD for months. No different than what we did years ago with, if you guys remember, some of you here, some of you weren't, the Stony Hill mixed use overlay development. It's everything in this book is changeable. Seriously, and we're the ones voted in by the town to make those changes. So if you don't like this, you're hearing from constituents that something's wrong, you think something's a little crazy, wacky, make a change, suggest the change, bring it to the board, and we'll talk about it at the board. And if we're going to move forward, we'll make a change.
Thank you.
I just want to make sure, Mr. Chairman, we didn't see anybody for this discussion, right?
We didn't need to, no.
Okay,
We have a
cool.
full house.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
We have a full house. Unfortunately, you guys, you're taking a back seat for this one. But seriously, that goes for you guys too. Seriously goes for you guys too.
The comment is,
So, can we vote on it?
yeah, it's 3.2 acres also.
So staff does not have a written resolution of approval ready. That doesn't mean that if you want to take a vote on this tonight, you can't. I just make sure if there are any conditions outside of what's otherwise normal and customary, express those now, otherwise we won't capture them in the decision.
I don't think there's anything written in your letter about either of no air conditioning. I mean, they verbally said that, but is that written anywhere?
Well, if you, that's just what
I know.
that's just a comment. If you want there to be an affidavit regardless of the space. Oh, okay. Okay.
Was that the accessory structure?
It's like it's a no accessory structure affidavit.
Yeah, you got it. As part of our typical letter of resolution.
What accessory structure equals
So we can make sure it includes no heat and no electricity in the affidavit. Yeah.
No heat, no air.
Yeah.
Well, they have electricity.
Well, I'm sorry. I meant no heat and no, yeah, and no AC. I can put that into the,
I hate to.
Excuse me.
Sure.
Excuse me, guys. I think you're getting into the weeds a little bit. And my suggestion is to just do a standard motion and trust your other departments, your zoning department, your health department, and building to carry through what needs to be done, especially dealing with like the affidavit. We take care of all that in-house.
Yes.
Exactly.
She sounds terrible.
I think you sound great,
That's
Beth.
why she's on Zoom and not here.
Beth, you look great.
Well, I'll ask, would, the board feel okay moving forward, or would you wanna wait until next
Yep.
week with something written up?
We're good. I'm good.
Do you have anything to read out?
no, there's nothing.
You don't have to.
Want to make a motion?
Go ahead.
I make a motion to approve, Raphael Marin's accessory structure for 27 Hoyt Road with our standard conditions of approval for, accessory structure.
Second.
We'll take a roll call vote.
Aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Okay.
Do you want to do new business now?
What?
You want to do the new business?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
Correspondence. We have an 824 referral from Board of Selectmen. Facility expansion, 53 Taylor Avenue.
Would you have,
So there's a document, I believe, in the Google
the
Drive.
village is response? to
Right.
that?
I printed it.
Yeah. Do you want me to just read it out?
Sure. Amy, want to pass it?
Do you want to
I
explain
wasn't
this,
sure who
David,
has
for
it,
us?
so.
I'm sorry?
You want to talk about this?
David, I'll just,
Go on, thank you,
Oh.
Beth.
please excuse my voice. I'm sorry.
Hey,
Go
Beth.
ahead.
Beth,
Yeah,
you and I spoke earlier. You want me to try and you can correct me if I'm wrong?
yeah, go for it.
The gist is there's two separate systems, a high pressure and a low pressure. They both are on either end of Taylor Avenue. So having one come down from one side, one come up from the other is not feasible. So they're talking about bringing the higher pressure one that is on the lower side of Taylor Avenue up. And where that exactly ends is we haven't really discussed. I know last meeting we talked about, that's when we were talking about just doing the whole Taylor Avenue, looping it all together, and that's just kind of where we are. Beth, is that, did I do that right? Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
So everybody's clear on this. Are we talking about the sewer line or the water line?
Both, Bob,
Both lines.
both, yes.
Okay. 'Cause I know
Enough said. Can't do it.
that's the explanation from the public utilities was that the two pressures aren't the same.
Yes, two separate systems.
Yep.
For water.
But can we do the sewer line without doing the water line?
I don't know why if you're gonna have it all dug up and torn up, why wouldn't you do them both?
Well, I can't do them both, so it's really just comes down to the sewer. That's how this started, was we were contemplating where the water was coming from, right? We were gonna try to get it all
Well,
connected.
the last project, they put the sewer and the water in the same trench, just at different heights for the building just down around the corner.
So you're still bringing water and
Yeah,
sewer. It's
correct.
completely two different
Yeah.
systems, is my understanding.
Yeah, we just,
But if I recall, our last meeting, we were trying to see if we could, if where the water was coming from, if we were going to try to get sewer up the whole road accessible for all the
Yes,
residents there.
yes.
But it sounds like that's not the case.
No, there's still sewer. It's two separate systems, two separate sewer systems, two separate water systems.
It's only two separate waters.
I don't
Not
think
two
there's
separate.
two separate sewers.
There's only one sewer. There's only
Sewer usually works on gravity, not pressure.
high pressure sewer stops it.
I think we have one high pressure sewer.
Yeah, nobody wants high pressure.
There's one sewer system.
So it's just,
Bottom line, you can't do it.
This is what I need back.
We asked.
Yeah.
So we can't, we asked our local engineering, right, or public utilities.
Right, Mr.
Thomas
Villa,
Villa.
yes, Thomas Villa, yes.
It seems like we're just back to where we were and whether or not we're making a positive or negative
Right.
referral to the Board of Selectmen.
That's correct. Exactly, that's what it is.
And they take that in advisement, even if we said yes or no. Doesn't mean it's got it.
But what I understand is that the neighbors cannot hook into it, right?
If it passes their house, I think.
No, if it's in the street in front of your house.
Road, you can hook
But I
into it.
thought the one that's being done is coming from below.
The neighbors do have the right to hook into the line.
Yeah.
It's the two systems.
So whatever,
So you-
wherever that passes, whoever's next to it can hook into that system.
What they'll probably do is when they run the sewer line, they'll put stubs in that would be, make it possible
correct.
for other houses to hook in.
Right.
Without that particular house probably paying an assessment to run that line in the road.
Why not have it?
No, that's not correct.
Who pays, is there an allocation for running the sewer system in front of those lots?
Okay, so if a private developer is running the line up that road, yes, he would put stubs in, but he also can do a chargeback to the neighbors for the actual line expansion.
Can we make a referral that says that it's, all the costs are on them? Is that legal?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Sometimes the town kicks in to help. They did on the last project there.
The town will not be kicking in any more money. That was an exception to a rule and it was a bad decision.
Well, this is not a legal referral anyway. It's just.
No.
We're doing this, so why can't we just say, if we do,
Public utilities will do what they want to do.
fees are on the developer, and then if they can, it's gonna be decided down the road anyway by somebody else.
Fair enough.
Insane.
That doesn't, when they did the sewers in our area, we paid.
Right.
Each homeowner paid for the line.
Yeah, I got it, but it wasn't a private developer putting that in.
No, it wasn't, it was a town.
Right, so now a
Maybe
private
not.
developer, in order to make this project feasible, needs to bring it up from the bottom of Taylor to their site, thereby passing other residences, putting stub ups. And I think if we make a referral, we'd say that, you know, they would have to not charge back the other neighbors.
I mean, we stand
You
here
could,
going, we
you
listen.
could do that, Mike. Mike, you could do that. It's just a report. It's not like it's written in stone. If you want to make that recommendation, you certainly can.
Yeah. Okay, thank you then.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we make a positive referral to the Board of Selectmen for the 824 referral for utilities expansion of 53 Taylor Ave. Contingent on the fact that all stub ups on any properties that the line passes be on the dime of the developer doing the property and not to charge back.
Second.
Can I just tell you, the way I would rephrase it is all costs associated with the installation of the line be borne by the developer.
It's off the cuff, Beth. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Ken? Roll call vote?
Aye.
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 Ayes have it, motion passes unanimously. We'll move
I'll set
on
up the next one. so
to the
you guys can
824
vote.
referral, Snowfield LLC, property off of Maple Row. Are you here for that one?
I am.
Come on up.
Come on up.
Just almost doing it.
Melanie O'Brien, 12 Crossroad Road, Bethel. I'm in here as my capacity as an attorney. This is a referral to the commission in connection with property off of Maple Road. It's a small map, but it's all there. So right now there's a lawsuit, a quiet title lawsuit being brought. And if you look on your map, there's a parcel A, which extends off the other side of Maple Road. Maple Road curves around this way. And the town was deeded this property accepted the road some time ago. Come to find out after the fact, when the party who's bringing this quiet title action to get legal title to parcel A did their survey, a small portion of the town road, in particular, which has the catch basin for Maple Row, ends up being on parcel A, which is really not town property. So we searched all of our records in Public Works and Planning and Zoning and elsewhere, any maps that we had, and found that the really only interest the town has to parcel A is the little sliver of property identified as A1 on your map, which has the catch basin and a small drainage pipe that goes from the catch basin onto parcel A. So we are looking to settle the lawsuit by saying, fine, we have no further claim to parcel A as long as you deed us parcel A1 with our catch basin and drainage easement over parcel A for our drainage pipe. Otherwise, we have no interest in parcel A. So we're here to ask if said conveyances and easement are acceptable to the commission. Do you have any questions? Excellent.
Thank you.
All right,
Just
thank you.
for all that.
Anybody have any questions, concerns? I'll make a motion to give a positive referral for the 824 Snowfield LLP property, Maple Row.
Second.
Roll call.
Aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. All right, new business, 42 Nashville Road.
Oh,
We have a site plan amendment for 830G application.
Yes.
I don't have any of that.
Okay,
no, no, no.
I'm good. It's just new business, so there's nothing, like, you guys haven't accepted it or anything, so you're not gonna have anything.
No, you're not.
This is the only thing you're gonna have.
So what's being distributed to the commission is an email or a letter from, Mr. Marcus's office asking, that, the matter of 42 Nashville Road be added to this commission's agenda this evening. With,
We did.
right, with additional context for why the request is made.
Mr. Marcus?
If I can,
Oh, you okay?
Most of us weren't here during this, so we have no idea what this is.
this is,
you're here.
we're moving a chain link fence. Not working.
It's David's property, yeah.
Yeah.
The original site plan that was approved showed a chain link fence on the property line. You should have a map. There's an ancient survey.
That's right there.
The ancient survey. But look at the ancient survey, then you'll see that the actual location of the chain link fence is about 4 feet up the grade onto the Sutton property. That's our neighbor. And this sort of happened when the fence people came out and looked and said,
Went the wrong way.
why are you putting the fence there? Don't you want it at the top of the grade so people don't fall down the grade over the edge of the cliff?
Yes.
And so Tim Draper and Mr. Sutton met, and they agreed that the fence would go on the Sutton property. And Sutton would give us a license to maintain the fence there, provided we did landscaping, which we've agreed to do. So there's a written agreement between Sutton and Draper to relocate the fence. David, when he's got to sign off on his zoning certificate, has said, but the problem is the fence is not exactly what it shows on the plan. To that extent, I've had a discussion with us, still here. I think Melanie was involved in this very briefly. Chuck Andrews has been involved in it. And actually, I think it was Chuck's recommendation. Why don't you just go to the commission and ask them to amend the condition of approval, which is the location of the chain link fence? And that solves the whole problem. And so that's why we're here. Now, with all due respect, Chuck is out of town. He's on vacation. And I talked to him, and he said it couldn't be there this evening, but if you need him, he would be available in 2 weeks. I said, well, it's up to the commission if you need Chuck, but for me, it's just, we do this You've got guys in the construction business over here. This is known as basically a field adjustment. You discover a condition on the site, and you say, it just doesn't make sense to put the fence where it's originally proposed. It makes sense to move it 4 feet to the top of the bank. That's what we've done. So it's as simple as that. If you can approve it, I think David can then continue to process the zoning, application, the zoning certificate.
Attorney Marcus may disagree with me on this, but there is more to this request that I believe that staff believes should be for the commission's consideration. If the commission also looks at this as built, there is a section of a stone retaining wall that is shown that extends from the steps at the edge of the new structure that was built onto Mr. Sutton's property. The commission should consider that this stone retaining wall was never identified on any of the site plans that the commission approved, nor was there any retaining wall that was proposed for this area. So if the applicant is seeking a modification to what was previously approved, the commission staff recommends the commission consider the placement of this retaining wall as part of that. And that would be another reason why to table this discussion or continue this discussion at the commission's next regular meeting, when Attorney Anders would be there, would be present to speak to that matter. Just to be proactive on this matter, to address any public health and or safety concerns. The staff has also asked the building official to provide any comment as appropriate. They weren't able to do that in time for tonight's meeting, but they are aware that they should have that for the commission's next meeting on the 25th. So you would want to consider whatever comment they have to offer at that meeting as well.
So the problem is plans don't show the retaining wall.
The site plans that you approved do not show a retaining wall.
How big and how long is the retaining wall?
I have photographs that I believe I added in the Google Drive.
Just your.
Well, if we have that, can we just look at them real quick? I know where you're going,
Yeah,
Kenny,
yeah.
but I'd like to see it if it's a 40-foot Great Wall.
All right.
The numbers on this 27.
It's roughly 30 feet, looks like, just by the.
Yeah, but it
measurement.
says 2716 there. On the paper, right?
That was a little section of the property
Yeah,
line,
right here.
and this is slightly longer than that, so. I'm guessing
Yeah,
that-
yeah.
Well, the fence isn't up yet, right?
The fence is installed.
It's all there.
Oh,
This is
yeah,
all
it's there.
installed. This is an
It's
as-built
there.
survey.
That's just
Okay.
above the as-built.
Does the neighbor have a problem with the
No, it looks like this.
No, they
retaining wall?
we signed, we
No,
have
but
signed
the
agreement.
retaining wall.
Retaining wall.
The hold harmless agreement that was signed by the abutting property owners only speaks to the fence. It does not, its language is not.
Retaining wall is not on the neighbor's property. So the neighbor didn't.
Right.
No, it is. The retaining wall was on the neighbors.
There was an old stone wall that was always on there. It was always possible.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
The-
maybe I'm getting confused.
No. So the survey that was submitted as part of the original application shows a dry stone fence. It is not a retaining wall.
No, it's just a small stone wall.
I want to make sure the distinction is clear.
Oh, that's clear.
Because I have photographs of the site before any
No, not
construction.
photographs.
Yes, I will do that.
More concerned with the afters.
It does say the wall.
So this is 42 National Road.
Seven, number
Right,
7.
because it says something
It
about
says the wall.
46, right?
That the wall.
That's the neighboring
What's the
property.
neighbor?
Okay.
Extend retaining wall.
Oh, right here. Yeah. That's the one we're looking at.
So it's the fence and retaining
Yeah, right there. Neil, look at the picture.
perpetuity.
That wall?
So this is one photograph of the wall.
Yeah, that's all on the Draper property.
Based on the survey, the AT survey, it looks like it slightly goes
It goes on to.
process.
Onto
Like,
the
you know, if we're
other
looking at
property.
this right here,
Yeah, I got it.
it's really small, but
Yeah.
It's there.
here's our property line. And our retaining wall starts here by the stairs,
Yes.
and then about 1/3 of it
Yes,
comes
yes.
in, and we're encroaching about 3 or 4 feet into this is the retaining wall.
That's correct. Yeah, it does.
And so it does encroach.
Yeah, and that's why we put, that's why.
To Jeff's point, it does say in the hold harmless agreement, in
It's
number
the wall,
7,
it's the fence and
fence
the wall.
and wall.
Yes, correct. I forgot.
However, I know your point, David, that it wasn't originally drawn or described as that on the original approval.
That's correct.
What was there? Stone wall?
It was a dry
Dry
stack
stone
stone
fence.
fence.
On the line, non-encroachment.
So I don't know what the existing conditions, if it's a stone fence like every New England stone wall and is dividing property lines.
I have photographs.
Okay,
I
oh,
will
yeah,
show
no,
you.
that'd be great. I'd love to see the beginning before.
Attorney Andrus would be available at the commission's next meeting.
Thank you.
Yes, we know that. Yeah.
Well, I think that's important to note. I'd like to see.
But it was.
So this is a photograph. If you guys can follow my cursor, this is the original dry stone fence. And the original survey that was shown as part of the application shows that the dry stone fence does not extend all the way to the edge of the property, to the curb of the street.
Right. Show us what's
Looks
there
a whole
now.
lot better now.
I agree with Ken. I mean, it looks,
You want us to rip it out, I'll rip it out. Silly.
It's just a legality thing though, right?
By the way, just, we keep talking about the site
I
plan.
should have been on the side.
This is approved under 8-30G. You really did not approve a site plan. You approved an affordable housing project. Now, we submitted a drawing that looks like a site plan, but in Bethel, residential real estate, for the most part, is not site plan oriented. And now, 8-30G doesn't require site plan approval. It requires public health and safety. The long and the short of it is, they made some field adjustments during construction. And we would like a zoning approval so that we can actually close out our mortgage. That's the whole thing.
the thing that would concern me is if we didn't do it how it was built, does the property not work as it was designed? And can they take it out and regrade it and still function? If that's the case, it looks better to me.
The way it is.
The way it is. That's my opinion. I am up to discussion with the board though on that.
But if you guys think you like it the way it is, it's a minor modification of the plan.
Dave, you were gonna say something over there.
Right, the concern isn't being raised to prompt the property owner to remove the wall. That's not why it's being raised. It's a noted discrepancy from what this commission approved to what was actually built. And that's why
So is
I'm
Chuck,
bringing it to your attention.
is Chuck Andrews gonna say anything different than what you just said?
We can find that out.
This is why he's a land use.
Right, but my point is either you accept it the way it is or you rip it out.
But
Those are
basically,
the
right.
two alternatives. But can I also ask a question real quick? And I don't want you to speak for Chuck, but did he see the hold harmless agreement that does on number 7 talk about a retaining wall and a
Yes.
fence?
Yes, but,
And development, yeah,
right,
Sutton required us to send it to everybody.
Right.
So we did.
but this agreement that was signed does not acknowledge the commission's need to look at this and give an approval to this modification. That's the one glaring issue with how, or at least that's the one that I can recall without being a land use attorney. That sticks out. I'm not sure if this hold harmless agreement would be the way that Attorney Andrus would advise this commission to consider it, and I would leave that to him. I don't see, I mean, it's, if you want to make sure you can put this to bed the right way, it may be worth just having him here to have his input on, what the commission needs to consider to make sure we get this done right, because that's really the motive.
Dave, can I cut you off
doing
quick?
this. Go ahead.
Melanie, can I ask you your opinion as town attorney?
Well, I'll say I was very briefly involved with this because the, hold harmless agreement, says something about giving notice of the town attorney. So I emailed Mr. Marcus and I said, well, okay, but I don't know, giving notice does to the town attorney in terms of enforceability. So I'm like, just letting you know, I don't know. I stepped away because Attorney Andrews stepped forward. There are a couple of things about the agreement, so I did not go further to analyze the agreement. I will tell you, I found it a tad unusual because it's a revocable license.
Correct.
So a license is you can use this, but if it's revocable, tomorrow I can tell you not to use it. So you can use my land, it's not an easement. So that runs with the land, that's permanent. It's just, it just can go away. And then I guess the question would be, what then? But I didn't go that far with my analysis. I just read it. I mentioned that to Chuck and I stepped back. So I don't feel like I can really give an opinion because I stepped away when Mr. Marcus and Mr. Andrus were. But that to me was just raised the issue, there's no permanence here. So what if, changes his mind and decides, or he goes to sell and somebody goes, what's his license? I don't like having this license. Sure. Get rid of that property. He revokes it and then you go back to whatever. And then the onus is on somebody to move it. And if it isn't moved voluntarily by the owner or the next purchaser, because it isn't necessarily going to be Mr. Draper who owns the property at that time, then the abutting property owner will have to force the issue in court. So it's a little bit odd to me that it was a revocable license, but having said that.
You've never dealt with Mr. Sutton. What you're looking at is the sixth draft of this agreement to put a fence where he wanted it to go. But he wants to say, if I change my mind, you're gonna move it. That's why it's a revocable license. So that's clear.
What about a land swap? Take a sliver off the back to fix
with Sutton?
Fix the wall issue.
Yeah, you won't do it.
No?
No. As a matter of fact, is to say, he likes the way it is, but he wants to know that if he changes his mind in 5 years, he can go and tell whoever owns this property, move your fence. And you know what? It's not a big deal to move the fence. I'm beginning to think that's what we may be
Agree.
right now.
The fence isn't, but the stone wall is.
Stone wall is.
Yeah, that's we broken up.
I got you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But that's Sutton's. Nothing that quite honestly, nothing that Chuck Anders is going to tell his commission is going to affect Mr. Sutton. He doesn't deal with Mr. Sutton. Actually, Mr. Sutton doesn't even deal with me. I get rewrites sent to me from him and I make them. So what we've got is a practical solution. When they were doing the construction, they said, this is where this stone wall should go, the retaining wall, which is really just a couple of feet high. The building inspector never inspected the wall to begin with. He can go back out and look at it now, but it doesn't require a building permit. So he's had nothing to do with it. And he's probably welcome to go look at it, but it's really just the practical solution. And as I said, I have no problem waiting 2 weeks for Chuck. At the end of the day, I think as Ken said, either we leave it the way the neighbor likes it and he's willing to do it, or we rip the whole thing out. We've got to sign off on this, on the zoning. We got to get the certificate. We have to forge a mortgage.
Okay, I'm for waiting 2 weeks and hearing Chuck's opinion on this thing somewhere down the road. But I don't think we're going to solve it here tonight.
I just want to make sure I'm clearing. So we need to accept this agreement between the two parties as a condition to
No.
So this
has nothing to do with that.
This has nothing to do with
Nothing.
this.
You don't want
site plan.
So the only thing we need to change as a board would be the amended site plan
the location of the fence
and then
a
a
little
little
strip of-
sliver of the property.
That's it.
The wall.
But we're approving that.
Excuse me, all. I just want to, I don't want this lingering out there and then 2 weeks come and you don't resolve it. David, I don't know if you mentioned this, and I'm just speaking about retaining walls in general. I think that it's important to verify with the building official that a building permit was not necessary for the retaining wall, for the construction of it to begin with. And if you could get that cleared up, then in 2 weeks' time, you'll be able to resolve this.
Right, and that's why I have put out a request for his comment on this.
Yes, because that's important to close this out one way or the other.
I mean, could we?
Yeah, I'm for closing it out. I'm for closing it out because I think the fence and anything on Mr. Sutton's side of the property was spoken to quite at length when we were approving the project to begin with, based on someone's safety coming down that hillside.
Right. Bob, that's exactly why we put the fence up higher. Exactly.
Right.
That's, your recollection is better than most.
All right, so we're gonna schedule this for next meeting, the end of February,
Right.
25th, I believe.
Right, the commission should make a motion to table this discussion to their next meeting on the 25th.
Anyone?
So moved.
No, we need a motion. Oh, did you make it? I didn't hear.
Right,
it.
I'll
Okay.
second this.
Okay, sorry, that happened so fast. I didn't hear it.
So moved.
Oh, thank you, Sharon. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any extensions? Any no's? Motion passes.
Thank you. And by the way, Chuck and I sort of decided that if you wanted to do this, it was fine. I mean,
Thank you.
we just want to eventually move this business.
All right. Do we have anything for the planners?
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Anything for the planners
You know, you
report?
have a 9 o'clock UConn game. I don't know about you, but you shouldn't be sitting here.
No, I'm going to bed.
I got a
Commission,
daughter from Virginia. I'm waiting for her to come home to get her dinner.
all right, any commission comments?
Yes, in regard to the March meeting, if you would do the paperwork, I would like to attend the meeting.
Right, so for however many commissioners want to attend the Connecticut Bar Association Land Use Seminar, give us an email or let us know tonight.
Well, I'd like
So
to.
how many do we have?
I will not attend, but you said that I could access.
Right, so this is to attend either during the seminar itself or to gain access to the recording.
Right.
And to get the book.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
right. So if you want any of those three things,
The
I'll
town
do-
pays for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
If we
right,
ask for
this
it
is,
now.
this is part of the educational account or the planning and
Oh,
zoning
yes,
commission's account. So this is a fund that's from the commission. So how many want to do this?
So I'll write your names down.
I already signed up.
Yeah, I think I already signed up too.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, I'm doing it.
So
I
did
did the
you get invoices or bills for that when you registered?
No, I
No,
signed
we
up for
handed,
you.
yeah, we gave,
Yeah,
Oh.
oh, and you,
When I got the thing, I did it that night.
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
Beth should have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to fill anything out?
I know, I wrote your names down. Oh, sorry, I wrote your names down, so I'll find out. I got you too. And I'll
So-
find out, I'll let you know.
So
Can I
what,
just make a suggestion? Can you sign the entire board up? If the town's gonna pay for it?
Well, I think you have to pay.
No, no, we paid for it. Paul's right. It's just.
That way,
I think we all get
We
the
did.
books and the
everyone
materials.
gets
did
the
last year, it's
materials and the books and access to the videos, even if you can't
Right.
watch it today, you can
Yeah.
still log in later. and-
Because you've done it.
So
Right.
it's, yeah, the town, the
Okay.
money's already there, so
Sign up.
just sign
So-
the entire board up,
Okay,
please.
all right.
Yeah, I remember the last time.
That's what we did last
On
time.
Zoom.
Okay.
It's a moot point.
What's the date?
So like, it's in March.
About not spending money, having attorneys here all night.
No,
But this one was-
And again, if you can't watch
I
the
only
whole thing,
watched
you
it,
can,
it was all day.
and they break it up nicely.
Came and
It's little
go.
like 40-minute segments. You go in later and watch them later. Any other commission
Watching
comments?
paint dry.
Paul, I have a comment.
Yes, sir.
Is Melanie still there?
No, she had left.
She left.
She left, okay. Because I was gonna ask her where we stand on filing this moratorium.
Yeah.
Because I think it's very important that we get, off the mark on that and get it going.
Yeah, I don't know, where
Oh,
we stand on
sorry,
that
Bob,
either.
she left.
Beth,
Beth-
can
Beth
you
talked about it
give
last
us an update?
I will be able to give you an update, in the next day or two. I can't do it right now. I'm sorry.
That's
No
it.
problem. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you for
being here, Beth. Thank you.
Good night. I gotta go, guys.
Beth,
Bye, Beth.
one other thing, any other commission comments before we move on? And then I'll just spew my last one.
Public?
My last commission comment, just if you haven't already, email Beth your, TOD recommendations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you have any changes you'd like to see made, that way we can continue the ball rolling, on that front. Open up the public input. See, there's a lot of people in the room with us tonight. I don't see any hands. Anyone online?
Online.
I don't see any hands. I will make a motion to
Is that
close.
BJ's? No, oh, no.
No.
I'm sorry, I can't see that.
Is the motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Okay, have a good night.